After a steady rain, do you notice water pooling in your yard? Help keep it dry by installing a French drain. Hi, I'm Tony. Standing water can keep a lawn from looking its best and can cause damage to other parts of your property. I'll show you the steps to help alleviate water problems with a French drain. A French drain is a commonly used term to describe a drain pipe system in a yard. It's sometimes called a curtain drain, and technically there are slight differences between the two, but they have the same goal: drain water and dry up your property. A French drain is an underground pipe system that collects water from above and below the surface, then reroutes it to a designated area. It collects water along the length of the drain rather than in one spot. French drains are appealing because they don't drastically change the landscape or protrude above the ground.
French drains can be used along a house, driveway, patio, retaining wall, or out in the yard, which is what we have here. Lowe's carries many types of drain products, including a variety of solid and perforated pipes, corrugated pipes that flex around turns, pre-fitted pipes with sleeves, fittings, basins, pop-up emitters, and more supplies to help fix your drainage problems.
A French drain needs an outlet in a lower lying spot. This could be down a hill or in a wooded area. Be sure to check with local authorities if you intend to outlet into a creek, ravine, or roadside ditch. Also, be sure it won't affect your neighbor's property.
Some yards might need to connect to a city storm sewer system, which will require help from a professional. Always check local codes and call 811 before digging to mark underground utilities. To mark the layout, identify the wet areas in the yard, then determine where the outlet will be placed, which is typically at a lower point in the yard. Our layout will extend along the backyard to collect the heavy pooling areas. We'll cut across the yard towards the driveway and place an outlet downhill along the drive. Once you have a plan, you can mark the layout with stakes and strings or marking paint. This system will be a trench lined with fabric. Rigid pipe will lay on top of the fabric and have stone along the sides and filled to the surface. If you're planting grass over the drain, leave the stone a few inches below the surface and wrap the fabric over top. Then add soil and grass seed. The fabric helps prevent the soil from entering the drain pipe. The trench will be about 12 inches wide. The depth will start around 8 to 10 inches and then slope down about 1 inch for every 8 feet of length.
After the layout is marked, the digging begins.
You can go right at it with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. Use loppers or an axe to cut away tree roots. And a digging bar is handy for breaking up compacted dirt and stones.
The trench needs to slope about 1 inch for every 8 feet. To check the pitch, set up the stakes along the layout and tie in a string with the line level.
The depth of the trench should be about 8 to 10 inches at the starting end. Measure the height from the bottom of the trench to the string. About 8 feet down the line, the trench should be about 1 inch deeper. Another tip, use a long level with a digital gauge that marks angles. A 1 inch drop every 8 feet is roughly a 1% slope. If you have a long trench to dig, consider getting some help. Hiring a professional excavating contractor to carve out the trench for you can help save a lot of time and effort. They have equipment that can cut right through tree roots. Plus, they can set the correct pitch for you as they dig. After the trench is cleared, line it with water-permeable landscape fabric. This fabric allows more water to pass through while blocking out dirt, sand, and other debris. Roll the fabric over the trench. Pin one side close to the edge of the trench, let the middle fall, then pin the other side. You might need several pieces of fabric to line deep areas of the trench. Where our trench turns toward the driveway, we won't use fabric because we're using solid pipe.
The pipe goes in next. I'm using a rigid perforated SDR35 that has holes along one side. These holes need to go downward in the trench.
As the water passes through the surface, it will make its way to the bottom of the trench. From there, it will be at a lower level to enter the pipe and flow to lower ground. If the holes were at the top, it would take longer for subsurface water to rise high enough to enter the pipe. For the first piece of pipe, I've cut off the bell end and covered it with a cap. For the other sections of pipe, I'll connect them with PVC primer and cement, following the manufacturer's instructions. A variety of adhesives are available. We're using an adhesive that works in wet and dry conditions, but it sets up faster than regular adhesive. To help make the pipes fit together easier, keep them level with each other using a block of wood or someone holding up the end. If you need to cut the pipe, mark it and make the cut with a reciprocating saw or hacksaw. After cutting SDR pipe, you might need to bevel the cut edge to make the pipe fit into the bell end of the next pipe. With a line of pipe secured together, roll it into the trench, holes on the bottom. At the end of our first run, I'm installing a T-fitting to create a cleanout. I'll make sure it's level, then I'll connect a short piece of SDR and a 45-degree elbow to make the turn. In the middle of the yard where it's dry, we'll use solid pipe to help move the water toward the outlet. Then switch back to perforated pipe for the flooded areas along the driveway. After the pipe is in place, run a hose through the pipe to check how the water flows. I'm adding a solid piece of SDR for the cleanout. I'll leave it a bit long for now. Next, add gravel around the pipe. Having a few inches of gravel along the sides of the pipe promotes better drainage. We'll fill with gravel all the way to the surface. Then we'll cut off the excess fabric and rake the stone. After the stone is mostly filled in, I'll cut the cleanout pipe almost even with the surface. Optional grates can be used with a coupling to cover the outlet. This helps keep out critters, but don't glue the setup so you can remove it for cleaning. We'll backfill with dirt over the section of solid pipe. Where we've dug up the areas along the drain, we'll add topsoil and grass seed. We've also added some decorative stone between the drain and mulch bed to help the drain fit within our landscape.
There we go, a French drain that's ready for rain. This yard was getting really waterlogged, but with a properly pitched and constructed drain system, the water will flow, allowing for lawn regrowth. Thanks for watching. Remember to like the video, click the subscribe button, and let us know in the comments what other types of how-to projects you'd like to see from Lowe's.